Grand Rising. It's me, the man with the conviction. What is my conviction? God will have his world. I want to share a thought with you real fast. This thought here that I have for you is called My 4 Universal Laws. My 4 Universal Laws. Real quick, before I tell you my 4 Universal Laws and more detail about them, did you know the term Israel is technically the Trinity backwards? Did you know that? Israel is the Trinity backwards, technically. What do I mean by that? Israel, I-S-R-A-E-L. Abbreviated. Isis, Ra, El Shaddai, and or Elohim. Isis, Ra, El Shaddai, and or Elohim. Isis being the Holy Spirit, Ra being the Son, Elohim and or El Shaddai being the Father, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Israel is the Holy Trinity in reverse, or at least the title, the name of it. Take from that whatever you would, if you'd like to. I just see it that way. But at any rate, my 4 universal laws, my translation, or my abbreviated translation, Master Yeshua. So Master Yeshua's 4 universal laws, what are they? I just made this up, actually. Just made it up. But at the same time, I made it up in a way that'll make it more comprehensible for me. You dig what I'm saying? Because all the universal laws that you have, like the law of attraction, for example, I stand against them. Why do I stand against the law of attraction or do not agree with it? Because all of this right here is attacking us. We are not attracting it to us, to ourselves. Meaning there is something immoral in our world that is constantly attacking our natural, internal God coding, which is making it difficult for us to manifest and or elicit the God coding into our physical world as we were all destined to do naturally. God coding. We are all destined to bring God coding into this world. You follow me? So, my 4 universal laws. I just made this up. It's brand new. But it also incorporates what you would consider the law of attraction into it. And all of the most likely all of the other laws you've ever heard of. It will incorporate them into these 4 that I believe in. So the first one is the universal law of love. Second one is the universal law of recompense, which the law of attraction could be incorporated into if you would like to take a listen to or take a thought of consideration towards these here 4 universal laws that I personally believe in, that are my universal laws, my 4 universal laws, right? My translation, Master Yeshua. A person could be anything. So Yeshua being a person can even be you or everyone. Me personally, I'm every black person on the planet right now. That's what I am personally, because I just decided that I'm going to be it regardless of how you feel about it. This is how a supervillain will walk anyways, right? But at any rate, the third one, the universal law of polarities, and the fourth one being the universal law of Genesis. The universal law of Genesis, right? So there's love, recompense, polarities, Genesis. Love, recompense, polarities, Genesis. More details now, right? Now, in my previous video, I was talking about this, but it cut out early on me. It cut out early on me because, you know, I'm starting to believe that it's probably because I have a whole lot of screenshots of information and whatnot that I try to keep in like an arsenal. You dig what I'm saying? I try to keep an arsenal of knowledge ready to just hit you with and just hyper enlighten every melanated man, woman, and child on the planet on sight. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you can hate me because, or if you want to hate me just because I find the well-being of every black man, woman, and child on this planet my only concern or my only care in the reality that we all reside in. If you want to hate me for that fact, go ahead, because that's all I care for and that's all I'm going to care for. Why? Because I am one of them. So why not only care for my own well-being? Very selfish goal here. Very extremely empathetically narcissistic. This here goal of mine is continuing. So my 4 universal laws, right? And how you can tie them to everything in order to help you spot a sellout, like I was saying in the previous video. Now as that video was ending right there, I was coming to a thought of telling you these things here, right? I was getting ready to say to you that your concept of selling your soul was manufactured. Meaning, just like a manufactured consent, selling your soul can be manufactured. Just think about it. Something can make you pay attention to it and keep your attention span on it for thousands of years or longer. You dig what I'm saying? And that's what the enemy did. The enemy just appeared and just forced you to pay attention to self-destruction. And all of the generations beforehand and all of the generations to come. This devil will just keep on forcing you to pay attention to self-destruction, forcing you to sell your soul to self-destruction, forcing you to sell your soul to self-destruction. Don't forget your soul, what it is in reality, literally, logically, your conscious mind, subconscious mind, and unconscious mind, all in one. But let's not forget the key word there is mind. The key word there is mind, where your attention span derives from. You cannot remove your soul from your body, because if you did, it's like removing your brain from your body along with your heart and every vital organ in your DNA that gives it its energy to function. You follow what I'm saying? So the concept that you all have of selling your soul is a massive hoax. It really is. It's a lot simpler than you all let it on to be, or than what you all believed it to be at one point in time. The shading, the lighting, it looks pretty bright. Bear with it. All you need is the message anyways. So, you cannot physically remove your soul from your body, because if you did, you die, literally. The soul is virtually an organ more than it is, or not more than it is, it's equally leveled to the metaphysical DNA that you have and the physical DNA that you have, to the same quantity, so to speak, if that makes sense. Meaning your soul is almost the same organic process of your brain as your mind is your soul, if that makes sense to you. Better lighting. So, your soul is your mind, right? And in order to have your soul sold, literally, you have to pull things out of your body, i.e. your brain and your heart and the nerves that give your body its abilities to have energy in the first place to be able to function. So in other words, you cannot possibly literally sell your soul. The whole concept is force you to pay attention to what is going to kill you forever. And only keep your mind set on that specific direction right there. Your self-destruction and your self-destruction alone. That's what it means to sell your soul to the devil. Pay attention to self-destruction only. Pay attention to self-destruction only. Well, I would like to just forcefully enter the fray as a supervillain would and just say, pay attention to your well-being only. Pay attention to your well-being only. Pay attention to your well-being only. Did you notice you do that naturally anyways? You're an astounding individual. So here's the reality. Seeing as how you already automatically naturally pay attention to your own well-being, regardless of what the devil says, you yourself, as magnificent as you are, can never sell your soul, nor have you ever sold your soul. Period. You're being lied to. Just come home. We all waiting on you. And since you're just not going to come home by your own choice, due to your fake self being in control of your natural self, I'm just going to kill your fake self and make you come home. You're just going to do it automatically. Almost like you're just being magnetized to me. Me being the I. The actual me. I'm fused with it, so I'm moving forward here. So, I want to tie what I like to call my 4 universal laws into who you all truly are. There's a definition online in regards to the word God or the title God. You follow me? There's a definition that this world has of it, and it is the creator and ruler of the universe and source of all moral authority, the supreme being. Those 4 things right there. Now, I like that definition though, me personally. I dig it because it's a simple way to describe God, even though God is not necessarily something you can honestly describe. It's just, I mean, the nerd people would call it busted, overwhelming. Yeah, I get it. Nothing can really describe God, nor are you really supposed to even try to. But here's the thing, I'm playing as a supervillain in real life, so I don't care. I'm just going to do it anyways. I'm just going to attack you with overwhelming amounts of love. How else can I do that? By attacking you with God. Why would I want to attack someone with a God of any kind at all? Why would I want to force people to experience heaven's wrath to any degree? Why would I want to? Well, because your world is effed up. What's the opposite of effed up? All right. You want to know what's all right? God. My whole thing is the devil attacked this world, so why can't God do it? How would God attack anything? With love? If God is love, then how would God attack you? With love. So that's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to attack you with God, meaning I'm going to attack you with overwhelming amounts of love. Because that's all God is, or at least the God I believe in, which is the source of all moral authority. Now, here's the thing about that definition. I just like it because it describes God the way I would describe God. Just good source of energy. You follow what I'm saying? Where the good sources of energy derive from. I have this theory right here too before I go on. Now, the more I tap in and the more I lean into what I consider the Saturn atom theory. I just want to put this out here real quick. Just random. Just want to put this out here real quick. The Saturn atom theory, right? Where in the beginning, because my entire philosophy was based on the way you all have the atom set up currently, which is the protons and neutrons inside of the nucleus of the atom and the electrons on the outside spinning, going crazy and surrounding and keeping all the good blocked. You follow what I'm saying? That's what my entire theory was based on at first. But then as I was moving forward and I started to realize that may not be the proper setup, I want to change it to something else. I decided to say the protons and the electrons are inside of the nucleus of the atom, causing the atoms or the neutrons to be on the outskirts. And if the neutrons are on the outskirts as the physical body of this here atom, then that would just make it look like Saturn, a perfectly balanced ring. Now, here's what I'm getting at. Also, too, I said that the protons were of the water element at first. That's what I was saying at first. I think I'm going to change that up. Because the more I lean on this here Saturn atom theory, the more it's just changing up everything that I honestly started out with. The more I lean on the Saturn atom theory, meaning like the car battery atom. It's like a car battery, meaning the positive and the negative are inside of the nucleus of the battery, and on the outskirts, it's not a wild moving electron going all over the place and imbalanced and not stoic. It's just balanced. Like it looks like Saturn. As is the atom, so is the universe. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah, Vishnu does that, right? Your so-called Vishnu? Yeah, I don't believe in any of your religions at all. But beside the point here. So I believe I want to change the elements that I had tied to the protonic energy, because I had it as water at first. But the more I lean onto this atom theory or this Saturn atom theory, the more even the elements that I had set up or tied to it at base are going to change up. Meaning I want to tie the element of wind and or air to the protonic energy. Tie the element of fire and or heat to the electronic energy. And then as far as the neutrons, both water and rock tied to that one. And or as far for the nucleus, it could just be the water-based element. And as far as the neutron, it can just be the solid physical-based element. You follow what I'm saying? Why do I say this though? Why do I want to change it up? It's simply because I'm noticing that the metaphysical and the physical are complete opposites of one another. What's the opposite of fire? Water. What's the opposite of air? Solid. You see? And from the metaphysical, goes into the physical, or meaning from the God code, metaphysical, the metaphysical God code manifests into the physical world. You follow what I'm saying? Like the opposite of the God code is the physical world. The physical world is in the opposite of the God code. Like no matter what you do, the God code will be at base of reality. God coding is at the base of reality, but the physical reality itself is the opposite of its own base. Now, if you balance it out, then what's opposite won't, then the opposite physical world will not take over and blind everything from being able to recognize what the God coding is, which is just good energy, moral authority, you see. Balancing out the physical reality prevents the physical reality from being blinded of the God code, the moral authority of the universe. You follow me? Which is what I'm getting ready to talk about in a second. But this is why I wanted to change that up though. So I want to apply the elements of air instead of water to the protonic energy. And I want to base my entire philosophy on this type of setup for a minute as I move on in describing things. I want to set it up like that now. So yeah, electrons will be the fire energy. The protons will be the air energy, not the water. I'm just changing it up in this video here. And then when it manifests through the water-based nucleus and the rock-based physical neutronic energy balance, if that makes sense to you. I'm just throwing that out there real fast. All right, back to the my 4 universal laws. The universal laws are laws that apply to everybody no matter what. Just eject all of your policies for a second and all of your political talking points and whatnot and everything that you got from pretending to be race hateful and all that. Just toss that out the window real quick. A universal law, a law that applies to everybody. Universal morality. What is the universal morality? God. So, okay, then God, right? Its definition according to this world is the creator and ruler of the universe and source of all moral authority, the supreme being. I just got a random thought about correcting the Byzantine, Western Empire, Roman days. I just got a thought about correcting that. Yeah, the Byzantine Empire, it fell later on in the 15th century. 15th century. But the Western Bank, I believe that one fell in the 5th century. That was just a random thought. But at any rate, creator and ruler of the universe and source of all moral authority, the supreme being. Creator first, creator of the universe, ruler of the universe, meaning giving orders to it, giving orders to the universe. I said in the previous video too, another mess up that I made. I called it the law of Genesis right there. I didn't mean to say the law of Genesis. I just wanted to keep it straight to the recompense law. Source of all moral authority, third, and supreme being, fourth, right? Then I got my 4 universal laws that I want to tie to it. Just want to tie it to it so to make more sense for you all and help you all break out of the mind trap faster. These words are going to help you break out of the mind trap faster, meaning decolonizing your melanated, marvelous melanated minds. Decolonization of your marvelous melanated minds. Decolonizing, moving forward. So, I have the universal law of love, meaning life-giving energy. The universal law of life-giving energy, I have that one tied to the creator of the universe aspect of this here definition of God. It's just a definition from the world. It's a simple definition of God, and I just dig it, and I just want to use it to label and describe how I personally believe in who our true actual God is, meaning the life-giving source energy. The life-giving source of the universe. That's who I believe God is. I believe God is a life-giving energy source, like the actual, like the one and only Roman entrenchment being used against it type of God, mono God, one God. The God I believe in is the life-giving energy source God. And you all have words and stuff out here and whatnot that I can use to label and describe how I believe in this here God that I'm talking about. Because me personally, I wouldn't even call it the generator, operator, destroyer. I wouldn't even call this here energy I believe in that specific God title. Honestly, I wouldn't even give it a name at all. Like I said, I'm just using words that you all have out here to label and describe the type of God I believe in. And using everything that you have against you to put the message out here into the world that'll shatter all of the lies you have. Also plagiarizing my mind, heart, psyche spaces, as well as my family members' mind, heart, psyche spaces of this God. You want to know why I'm doing it? Because you put these lies out here to make us forget about this here God energy I speak of in the first place. So when the lies are destroyed and shattered and obliterated, the veil gets lifted, and I am one step closer to going home. Don't be afraid, I just want to go home. Don't be afraid of me, I just want to go home. I am intentionally speaking with random all over the place words. I am intentionally doing this. Do not be afraid of me, I just want to go home. The only way I do that is through all of humanity getting it. Getting what? Who and or what they all truly are, so they can all stand the right way and stop standing the wrong one. Tying it in before it shuts off on me again, right? So, it shut off at 27 minutes last time. Let's see where it goes this time. The creator and ruler of the universe, creator of the universe, ruler of the universe, source of all moral authority of the universe, supreme being of the universe. I have the universal law of love tied to the creator of the universe. I have the universal law of recompense tied to the ruler of the universe. I have the universal law of polarities tied to the source of all moral authority in the universe. Why polarities? Because polarities is opposites. An opposites polarities law applies to everyone? How so? How can an opposite polarities law apply to everyone? Because, like I said, I personally believe all of humanity is God. I personally believe everybody is Yeshua. Everybody is Israel. The backwards and frontwards Holy Spirit title. Trinity. I believe everybody is the same archangel, Sapphire Rot, or Metatron. I believe we are all one. One thing, the true God. And this here true God has a whole bunch of vessels that all of us and or all of me is wearing right now currently. And these physical vessels we are all wearing are opposite of who and or what we all truly are, the infinite and or metaphysical God of life force energy. I could have said it better. But at any rate, so our opposite is the metaphysical life force energy, but we are both the source and the vessel at once, meaning our powers are fused together. Notice I'm saying our, because everything alive is fused with this here life force source energy. We all know these things. That's why I said law of polarities will be tied to the source of all moral authorities definition of this here God. Just using words that you all have out here describe what I believe in. Moving along to finish it off. Got to get my conclusion landed. And then the law of Genesis. The universal law of Genesis will be tied to the supreme being, part of the definition. And why so? Because you all are the true God, meaning that you all are the supreme being, meaning Genesis, what you started out as is what you shall remain. You started out as the supreme being. Why are you trying to be an inferior being? The opposite of you being imbalanced is inferiority. You started out as a balanced individual. Real quick, all of these laws all derive from one, the universal law of love, creation. The universal law of love, the universal law of life-giving energy. That's actually the only law in all of the universe there is. Even my 4 laws tie into this one, the universal law of life-giving love energy, the most important one of all, and the only one that we should follow, and anything that stands against it deserves death. That's the only energy there is. That's the only law there is, honestly. The only law is love. Don't stand against it. But at any rate, you started out as love. You started out as a moral piece of God. You started out as God, period. Why are you becoming the devil? Only the devil wants to destroy itself. Why do you want to do what the devil wants you to do? How is the devil's idea even getting into this world? Did you even notice that the devil's idea is getting into this world? Maybe you should pick a side or destroy one. Now that you know all of the sides available to pick and or destroy. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.